Today's class is whole body mat. All you need for equipment will be a set of light dumbbells and your mat. Let's begin by walking our feet out a little bit wider than the outside of our hips. We're going to pull up and in on the lower abs, and then think about your abdominals wrapping around here, keeping your ribs pulled in tight, shoulders down. We'll take one hand, big inhale, reach right up over top of your ear. Exhale, take the hand down, and then we do a big circle back with that arm. Good, one more time. Inhale, finding this side bend. Exhaling the hand down, and try to keep your shoulders down away from your ears as you circle back. Good, other side. Inhale, sweeping up right over top of your ear. Exhale the hand down, and keeping our ribs pulling in as we reach back behind us. Good, last one. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, arm comes down, and then just a big circle back. Good, inhaling both hands up overhead. We're gonna find our opposite elbow and then just a little side bend. Try to keep your shoulders right over your hips so we're not leaning forward or back. Hips are staying still. One more to each side. And back to center. Inhale, reach your hands up, keeping your shoulders down. And then as you exhale, I want you to peel your elbows back out of your peripheral vision and then just lift your chest, finding this little back bend. Good, we're gonna inhale, reach it up. As you exhale, we circle the hands down, chin towards chest, soften the knees, and then just peel the top of your head down towards the floor, finding our opposite elbow one more time, and then just a little side to side. Let your head just hang, relax the neck, relax your back. Try to keep your hips still. One more to each side. Good, come on back through center, fingertips down, bend the knees, tailbone tucks under, and then just roll up through low back, middle back, shoulders, standing tall after you bring your head up, and then we're gonna lift our shoulders up towards our ears and just roll them back. Good, couple more, two more. Last one, we're gonna keep our shoulders back and down. All right, friends, go ahead and grab your weights and then just come on back to the center of your mat. We're gonna begin by walking the feet out wider than the outside of the hips, and then we find this external hip rotation. So your knees and toes are pointed out, and this rotation comes from the hips. Abs in, shoulders down, and then we're gonna raise the weights up overhead. Good, from here, I want you to reach out as far as you can to each side, slowly lowering the weights. And then when they get down by your legs, we're gonna bend the knees, bring the weights to heart. So we rise and circle up. I want you to move really slowly and with control today. We wanna feel resistance as we lift and as we lower. Good, bend and sweep it up. Our tailbone is gonna stay pointed straight down. We wanna make sure that we're not tucking or sticking the tail out. Good, let's do 4 more. Nice and slow. 3, 2 more. Good, and last one. Good, we're gonna hold that bend with weights at your heart, and then from here, I want you to push the floor away to rise about halfway, lower down. So we're pushing our feet into the floor just to lift the hips. We're coming up about half range. Keeping your knees tracking over your middle toes. So we're pressing our thighs back. Good, half range for 4, 3, 2, last one, and then adding on. As you rise, I want you to find this little twist with the upper body, bring the weights towards your hip, and then we bring our shoulders back to center, squaring the chest, weights to heart. When we twist, Keep your hip bones pointed straight ahead and think about the twist is coming from your rib cage. Good, 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Good, bringing it back down from here. We're gonna step feet together, taking one hand up and come back down to second. Up, feet wide. Think about squeezing your inner thighs together as you rise and then slowing your momentum down as you land. So we want to make it a nice soft landing. Low impact for our joints. 4 more. 3, 2, good. Last one, adding on. So we're going to do that same rise, feet together, lower down, and then we're going to rise, twist, take it down. So we go up, lower down, opposite hand sweeps across as we twist. And again, on our twist, I want you to think about the twist coming from your rib cage. Your hip bones are going to stay pointed straight ahead. Good, 4 more. 3, 2 more. Good, and last one. Good, coming back nice and low. I want you to take one hand. We're gonna lift the elbow and then just open that arm out to the side. Bend the elbow down. So we're gonna go press back and in. My palm is pointed down at the floor. My pinky finger is leading. And I want you to make sure you're not taking your chest with you as you take the arm back. So chest stays pointed straight ahead. Good, adding on, as you take your arm back, you're gonna lift the heel. Abs in, shoulders down. Couple more. Good, 2 more on each side. Last one on each side. Good, here's your last one. And then from here, we're gonna step behind our supporting leg. You're gonna take the weights out. So we're in this curtsy lunge, and then we go back to plie in second. So we step it wide and drop it down. So we're bending here, and we're bending here. Try to keep your hip bones pointed straight ahead as you cross your leg behind right here. Good, 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good, adding on. So from here, we're gonna take your arm, we're gonna lower the weight down, sweep it up, extend the leg, body's in this straight line, bend it down, and curtsy. As you side bend right here, try to keep your spine really long and straight. So we're not bending over to the side at all. So your spine is long. Good, 4 more. 3, 2, Good, last one. Taking your weights back to heart from here. Just a little tiny pulse. We're just lifting our hips 1 inch. We're trying not to bounce. So it's up an inch, down an inch. Chest is up, adding on in 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, we're gonna keep the pulses going, but we're gonna turn our feet in, reach down, plie, chest up. So we do a squat with a hinge right here, and plie, bring your chest up. Four more. 3, 2, last one. Good, we're gonna come back to feet parallel. We have this slight hinge, knees are right over ankles, and then I want you to rise. We're gonna reach the hands back. Watch out for your pelvis pushing forward and the back arching as you take your arms back behind you. So make sure you're keeping a neutral and not letting your pelvis push forward in front of the body. Great job, you have 4 more. 3, adding on in 2. Good, last one, adding on. So we're gonna take it down, reach back, down, and then we're gonna raise the knee, take the weights over the shoulder. So we land, reach back, lower, knee raise. If that knee raise isn't working for you, you can just tap the toe down. I'll show you what that looks like here. So it looks like this. Both feet on the floor if you need to. Good, 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Good, so from here, we're in our squat. We have this hinge with the upper body. I want you to bring your weights to chest. We're gonna lift one heel, lift the other heel, and then just a little tiny pulse down. Little pulse down. So think about your feet as if you had like a towel that you're standing on and you're trying to rip that towel apart. So you have this outward pressure to keep the knees in alignment here. Good, let's pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels come down, come on up. Great work. We're gonna get the other side. So walking the feet out wide, external rotation is coming from the hips, neutral pelvis, neutral spine, and then ribs in, shoulders down as you take your arms up overhead. Reaching out as far as you can, we circle the weights down, and then we bend the knees, bring the weights to heart. We want to make sure we're not using any momentum as we do these big circles here. You'll be able to tell by your weights feeling weightless. So if you're not feeling resistance the entire time, try to slow it down. Good, we're keeping that tailbone heavy. It's pointed straight down. Good, last 4. 3, 2, and last one. Good, we're gonna come back to that bend, weights at your heart, knees pressing back so that you have this nice wide stance. Knees tracking over second and third toes. We're gonna go up halfway, drop. Come on, words, halfway, drop. Good, so make sure we're not leaning forward here. Top of your head points right up to the ceiling. We're standing tall. Good, we're gonna add that little twist in 4, 3, 2, last one, half range, and then adding on. We're gonna come up halfway. We're gonna find this twist, take your weights to your hip and drop. Twist and drop. So we're staying in our work zone, right? We're not coming all the way up. So we have a lot of time under tension for the legs today. Good, half range and twist for 4, 3, 2, and last one. Great job. We're gonna step our heels together, taking one arm up overhead and then soft landing. Lift and lower. So we're carefully stepping out, placing our entire foot on the floor, and then bending the knees with control. Hello, inner thighs. Adding on in 4, 3, 2, last one, adding on. So we're gonna reach it up, feet together, lower down, and then we rise, twist, taking that arm across the body, drop it down. Twisting with our rib cage, we're keeping our hip bones pointed straight ahead. A lot of sneaky core work happening today. Good. Let's do 4 more. Three. Last 2. Good, here's our last one. Good, coming back down, weights at our heart. We're gonna lift one elbow and then extend the arm out. Bring it in, elbow down, other side. So you're gonna feel a lot of back and shoulders here as you take that arm back. Remember, we're keeping our chest square. We're not allowing it to rotate. I'll show you what that looks like. Looks like this. See how my whole upper body's moving? I want you to take just that arm back. Good, when you're ready, we're gonna add a heel raise. Abs in, shoulders down. Try to stay down nice and low. Good, last 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, weights to heart, and then we're gonna carefully step back. So we're gonna keep our external rotation. We're gonna go curtsy lunge, plie second. Good job, heart rate is up. If you feel like you need to, you can always keep your weights at your heart and your lunge. I'm kind of reaching my arms out in front at chest height, but you can always keep your weights at heart if you need to. Good, we're gonna add that side bend in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, coming back to our second, we're gonna unfold our arm. We're gonna extend one leg and then just reach it up, body's in a straight line. Bend it down, curtsy lunge. So we're leaning with a long spine, so try not to like bend your spine into like a C shape. Think about keeping it in a lengthened state as you lean. Sweep it up. Sweep it down, step back, step in. 4 more. Good, last 3. Last 2. And last one. Good, from here, chest is up, shoulders down, little tiny pulse. Pressing the floor away to lift your hips just 1 inch. Try not to bounce here. So it's 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Good, we're gonna add that internal rotation and hinge in 4, 3, 2, and 1. We keep our dips going. We bring our feet to parallel, reach down, turn out, chest up, plie. So as you squat and hinge right here, lift your tailbone, keep a nice flat back. And then we bring our chest up, press the knees out wide in our second. Good, you have 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Good, we're gonna come back into that squat with a hinge and pretend you're ripping a towel, like you're standing on a towel. You have this outward pressure on your feet. We're gonna rise, reach back, hinge. Try to keep the back of your skull in line with the back of your ribs. I know it's hard when you're watching on a device, but just be mindful of the neck. We're gonna add on in 4, 3, 2, last one. Good, adding on. So we're gonna lower down, we're gonna rise and reach, lower down, and then we take the knee up, weights over your shoulders. So we're gonna go squat, reach back, squat, knee raise. And remember your modification. If you're not liking that knee raise, if you want to keep both feet on the floor, you're going to just tap it in. Good, 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Good, coming back into our squat, knees are right over ankles. We're gonna bring the weights to heart, lift one heel, lift the other heel, and then just a little tiny dip here. Little pulse. You can always bring your heels down if you need to. Keep all 10 toes pressing into the floor to protect your ankles. Pulse 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels down. We're gonna rise up. Feet are gonna stay nice and wide. We're gonna inhale. Hands up overhead. As you exhale, circle the hands down, soften the knees, chin to chest. Just slowly peel yourself 1 vertebrae at a time down to the floor, dropping your weights, finding the floor with your fingertips. We're gonna just go side to side here, bending one knee, shifting our hips towards that bent knee, keeping your hips tracking over your heels for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, back to center. Knees are bent, heel toe, the feet under hips. Let your head just hang for a second, relax the neck, and then just leave your weights on the floor as you roll up. All right, great work, friends. We are gonna come on down to the floor for the rest of our class. And as always, weights are optional. You can always go no weights if you want to. We're gonna lie down on our side, placing your elbow directly below the shoulder, and then the palm is gonna press into the mat. Bottom knee on a slight diagonal in front of the body, and then we're gonna take our top leg, straight out from the hip. So your foot, hip, shoulder are all in a line. And then option to place your weight on your leg. So you want to find a place where you're not like reaching out or it's not on your hip joint. And then we float the leg up. Good. From here, we're going to point our toe. And I want you to just do this little sweep forward, flex back. Sweep forward, flex back. Good. Now, as we're sweeping, I want you to check in, make sure we're not allowing the tailbone to tuck as we bring the leg forward. Good. So keep that neutral for 4. We're not sinking into our shoulder. Nice strong obliques. 2. Good. Last one. Now we're going to sweep with a flexed foot. So we're going to keep our tailbone from tucking and point back. Flex forward, point back. Think about lengthening that leg, stretching it out as straight as you can, engaging all of those muscles as we move. Flex and point. 4 more. Try to minimize any movement in the torso. We're trying to keep everything else really still. Last 2. Flex, point back. Good. Last one, flex forward, point back. And then I want you to bring your knee right over your bottom knee. We're going to just lower it down and then we're going to lift, extend. So we're going to go bend lower, lift, extend. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And remember, we're staying lifted here. We're not allowing our ribs to kind of sag down to the mat. Stay nice and strong for 4, 3, 2. Last one. Good. We're going to take it out straight and then just a little tiny lift. So outer thighs, outside of your glute, working so hard here. Good. Little pulse up. Let's pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. You can set your weight aside. We're going to take this bottom leg out straight, and then your moving leg crosses over, finding the floor with both sit bones, and then just sitting up nice and tall. Feeling a stretch in the hip, in the glute, a little bit into my hamstrings here. Nice work. All right, just take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Good. And then we're going to switch over and get that other side. So just passing our weight over. Really important that we're bringing our elbow down directly below the shoulder. And then we're staying lifted here. So try not to like sink into your shoulder. It causes a lot of discomfort in the neck, shoulders. Our bottom knee is in front of the body on a slight diagonal. And then we're going to just place the weight where we can comfortably hold it without reaching for it and it's not on our joint. And then just lift your foot up to about hip socket height. Toe is pointed. Without tucking the tail, we sweep forward, flex back. You'll probably notice that one side of your body has more range of motion than the other. That's totally normal. And that's why we work unilaterally, one side at a time, so that we can kind of decrease those strength and mobility disparities by not allowing the strong side to take over. And back. Good. Let's do 4 more. Pressing the floor away with your hand and your elbow. 2. Good. Last one. Point forward. Flex back. We hold that flex foot. Press through the heel as you sweep forward. Point. Sweep back. Flex forward. Point back. Minimizing any movement in the torso. Our core is bracing here for 4, 3, 2. Good. Last one. Flex it forward. Point it back. We're keeping that toe pointed. Lengthen that leg out a little more. And then we're going to draw our knee right over our bottom knee. We lower down. Lift, extend. It's not a big lift. I'm just lifting so my foot is about hip socket height. We're making sure we don't have any external hip rotation, so your knee is pointed straight ahead. And elongating the spine out through the top of the head. 4 more. 3, 2. Good, last one. Take the leg out straight, foot is in line with hip, in line with shoulder, and then just a little pulse up. Glutes, outer thighs on fire. Good, we're lengthening that leg as we move, so we're stretching it really straight. Let's pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, you can bring your leg down. We're gonna take our bottom leg out in front, and then come on up, find the floor with both sit bones, and then we just carefully cross that leg over, hugging it in, sitting up nice and tall. All right, great work, friends. Big inhales through the nose. We're expanding our ribs in all directions. So think about breathing into the back of your ribs. And then as you exhale out of the mouth, try to fully exhale, empty the lungs so we can get some nice fresh oxygen coming in on your next breath. Good, and then let's take the soles of feet together. Just a butterfly stretch, sit up really tall, long spine, and then just hinge forward from the hips. All right, nice work, friends. Please grab both of your weights. We're gonna come on up to kneeling. Knees are gonna be about hip distance apart. If you need to, you can tuck your toes under for more support. We're gonna bring the weights just in front of your belly. And then I want you to think long spine. We're gonna do this little hinge forward with a flat back. Good, from here, let's take your left hand. We're gonna reach back behind us, pull the weight in. Getting that arm nice and straight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it back. Good. From here, just a little tiny lift. Try to keep your chest and your shoulders square. Don't let this one come back. Good. Neck is in line with spine. Good, little lift, arm is straight, lifting with the back of your arm. Hello, triceps for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna hold that arm there, and then I want you to bend, bring your weight to your shoulder, extend it back. As you extend, get that arm straight, and then just give it a little lift right here. Really contract that tricep. 4 more. Abs in, shoulders down away from the ears. 2. Good, last one. And then we're gonna replace the hand. We're gonna take your opposite hand. We're gonna reach it back, weight to heart. No momentum here. We wanna feel that weight the entire time. It should never feel weightless. Good, we're gonna hold it back in 4. 3, 2, hold it back on 1, arm is straight, shoulders down away from the ears, and then just a tiny, tiny lift. Little tiny lift. So that pinky finger is leading up, palm is turned inward towards the body. Abs in. Good, let's lift for 4, 3, 2, hold it up on 1, and then we're gonna bring the weight to our shoulder, extend it back. I'm trying to keep my arms still from shoulder to elbow, so we're just moving that lower half of the arm. And then as you extend, give that arm a little lift so we can really target that tricep. For 4, 3, good job, 2 more. And last one. Bringing it back to center, you can bring yourself up. Great job. You can, so option here, you can set aside one weight, or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, sometimes I do this and like stack my weights. I'm gonna go with 1, but just an option for you. Come on down to your back and just bring your head down to the mat. We're gonna take this arm, this weight, come onwards. up over your chest. So make sure it's not over your face. I always have a fear of dropping a weight on my face. And then we're gonna just hover up one leg into a tabletop, hover up the next leg, and then we're gonna flex the feet today. I want you to find your neutral pelvis here, so we're not imprinting the spine and we're definitely not arching. Abs in, and then we're gonna take one heel and we're gonna lower it down towards the mat and lift. Your lower back is going to dictate your range of motion here. So if you're lowering and you're feeling your spine arching, you're gonna stop just before that on your next one. Lower and lift, good, 2 more. Trying to give you breath cues. Last one, make sure you're not holding your breath. Good, from here, adding on, we're gonna lower the heel, and then I want you to extend the leg out. We're gonna take the weight up over our head. We're gonna tap it in, lift. So we tap short, tap long, short, and lift. Feeling a lot of glutes here as well. Good, 2 more. Last one. Good, we're gonna hold that long tap, and then from here, I want you to bring your knee up next to your supporting knee, and then we're gonna lift one shoulder as we twist. Good, so we're gonna take it, arms overhead, leg goes long, and we twist. So I'm keeping this shoulder on the mat, my opposite shoulder peels up, I'm looking back past my shoulder. So we're not trying to curl forward, we're just getting a twist with your spine in its elongated state. Good, 2 more. Exhale and inhale. Good, last twist. We're gonna hold it here. You're gonna keep your legs still in a tabletop, and then I want you to just bring your shoulder down to the mat, bring your head down, and twist. So it's a lot of balance work. If you need to, you can bring one foot down for support. Twist and up. And also if you need support behind your head, you can put one hand there. 2 more. Good, last one. And then from here, we're gonna lift the shoulders. You're gonna bring your weight near your knees, and then we're gonna do this little press out. Knees pull in, head comes down. Chin is in a slight nod. I want you to think about this lift coming from right here, not from your neck. 3 more. Two. And 1. Good, bring your head down, bring your feet down, walk your feet out, and then just take your arms up overhead. You can set the weight down. Good, just lengthen your body out. Take some nice deep breaths. Great job, we're gonna find that weight. Carefully bring the weight up over your chest and then walk your feet in. We're gonna hover up one leg into a tabletop. Your knee will be right over your hip socket, and then we're gonna hover up that other leg. Flexing the feet, we're gonna take our opposite heel down to the mat. So we're gonna just go lower and lift. Down towards the mat, I should say. We have that neutral, abs are pulling in. We wanna make sure we don't have any doming or coning here. 2 more. Good, last one. And then we add our long tap. So we're gonna go tap short, tap long, short, up. You can always get rid of that weight. Exhale, inhale. Good, 2 more. Here's our last one. I want you to hold that long tap, and then we're gonna slowly pull our knee up to our supporting knee, and you're gonna lift one shoulder, take the weight outside of that leg, and lengthen. Exhale, twist, looking over your shoulder. and lengthen. 2 more. Good, last one, you're gonna hold that twist. Feet are gonna stay still, and then you're gonna just take your shoulders down, twist, lifting one shoulder. Remember, you can always bring one foot down right here if you need some more support. Good, 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. So from here, we want to make sure we have a slight nod with our chin, and then I want you to think about lifting from here, not from the neck. We're going to raise up the shoulders. Weight comes by your knees, and then we press out, in, shoulders down. Four more. Nice and slow. 3, 2, and last one. Beautiful work. You can bring your feet down, set your weight aside. Let's take the arms up overhead, lengthen the legs out, and just breathe here. So we're gonna take a big, deep inhale through the nose. I want you to feel the back of your ribs expanding, pushing into the floor. And then we're gonna fully exhale out of the mouth. I want you to make this ha sound, just relax the diaphragm. And then we're gonna just carefully draw the knees in towards the chest, hugging with the arms, and just a gentle rock side to side. Just massaging out your back and your shoulders here. Try not to curl your tailbone up. So think about a long spine. Tailbone stays on the mat. So we don't have any compression points in the spine. Good. One more to each side. And come on back to center. Good. We're going to carefully make our way to all fours, placing the hands directly below the shoulders, and then your knees right below your hips. Fingertips press into the mat, and we press the mat away. We're going to inhale, lift the belly, tuck the tail, let your head hang, and exhale. We round down with the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail. One more inhale, and exhale. Good, come on back to neutral. We're gonna step one foot outside of our hand, opposite toes tuck under, and then we lift the knee. Good, so letting your hips sink down here, but we're still pressing the floor away with the hands. Press through your back heel. And then if you want, you can take your hand closest to your foot and just lift it up towards the ceiling, finding this twist. Gaze up at your fingertips, shoulders down away from the ears. Good, let's bring that hand down. We're gonna gently float our back knee down, and then we're gonna step that foot back. Opposite foot steps outside of the hand. We tuck the back toes under, raise the back knee, and just sink down into the hips, pushing the floor away with your hands. And then if you'd like, you're gonna take your hand that's closest to your foot and just raise it up. Gaze up to your fingertips, press through that back heel. Good, and then we bring the hand down. Back knee comes down. We're gonna circle that leg back, tuck the toes under, and just lift your hips up, and then we push back. Pedal your knees here, stretching out the back of the legs. Pedal 4, 3, 2, 1, and then carefully step, hop, or walk either feet to hands, hands to feet. Let your head hang, grab opposite elbow, and then we nod. Yes, please. Shake your head. No, thank you. And then fingertips float down. Bend the knees and just roll up slowly. Roll up through the low back, middle back, shoulders, head comes up last, and then we're gonna stand tall. Take your shoulder blades up towards your ears, and then just roll your shoulders back and down and just keep them there. Great work today, everyone. That is it for your class.